Welcome, my dear friends, to a conversation that could truly transform your journey toward a vibrant, healthier life. I'm Dr. Benjamin Cole, and after years of working with incredible folks like yourselves, and even having had the privilege of competing as an Olympic decathlete, I've come to understand that true health isn't about quick fixes or fads. It's about deep, lasting nourishment. Today, we're diving into something deeply personal and profoundly important: how the foods we eat shape our daily lives, our energy, and our ability to truly thrive. I know many of you might be wondering, what's the one magical food I should be eating? Or perhaps, is there a secret superfood that will make everything better? Well, let's just say we're going to challenge some common ideas and discover a more powerful truth together. So, settle in, because what we're about to explore might just surprise you and will certainly empower you. The myth of the superfood and the power of variety. You know, for years, I've seen a trend emerge where people latch onto the idea of a superfood. Someone will say, "This is it. This is the one food you absolutely must eat." And then, understandably, folks might think, "Great. I'll just eat that one thing, and all my health concerns will vanish." But here's the honest truth. That line of thinking can be a little misleading, even a bit dangerous. Think about it. If you have a headache, do you really believe there's one single food that will instantly make it disappear? Or if you're dealing with high blood pressure, is there a miracle food cure? The answer, my friends, is no. Our bodies are incredibly complex, intricate systems. They don't need a single superfood to fix a problem. They need a symphony of nutrients working together in harmony every single day. Foods aren't designed to treat or alter specific body functions in isolation. Their fundamental purpose is to provide your body with all the essential building blocks, the catalysts, the vitamins, and the minerals it needs to perform its best. It's about nourishment, not medication. So let's gently set aside the idea of the number one healthiest food and embrace the beautiful concept of variety. It's the diverse tapestry of foods that truly complements each other, giving your body everything it craves to flourish. And while we're on the subject, let's also be a little cautious about the term natural foods you see in the grocery store aisles. Just because something is labeled natural doesn't automatically make it a health food. Often, these products might use better ingredients and fewer harsh chemicals, which is a step in the right direction. However, many are still highly processed, stripped of vital nutrients, and filled with hidden sugars or unhealthy fats. It always makes me chuckle a bit when I see that natural foods section. It makes me wonder why the rest of the store isn't labeled unnatural foods. Just a thought to keep in mind as you navigate those aisles. Because there are so many truly healthy foods out there, and to really understand their power, I'm not just going to list individual items. Instead, we'll explore them by categories. This way, you'll grasp the broader principles and be able to make smart choices for a lifetime. Remember, it's not about a strict order of importance. It's about incorporating this rich variety into your daily life. Foundational fuel: vegetables, berries, and animal proteins. Let's dive into the core of what truly nourishes us. 1. Non-starchy vegetables, your green powerhouses. When it comes to the bedrock of a healthy diet, look no further than non-starchy vegetables. These are truly nutritional gold mines. Think about all those vibrant leafy greens: lettuce, spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard. Any kind of leaf you can imagine. They are absolutely overflowing with essential nutrients, minerals, and vitamins. Plus, they're packed with fiber, which is crucial for digestion and keeping you feeling full, all while being incredibly low in carbohydrates, starch, and sugar. So with leafy greens, the general rule is, eat as much as you possibly can. Beyond the leafy varieties, we also have wonderful options like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. While they aren't leafy, they're still wonderfully low in starch and offer a wealth of health benefits. A helpful tip for you: as you learn and explore, try to identify vegetables that have less than 5% net carbs. What does net carbs mean? It's simply the total carbohydrates minus the fiber content. Some vegetables might have a higher total carb count, but if most of it is fiber, they're still an excellent choice. These low net carb vegetables can be enjoyed in abundance, providing an incredible amount of vitamins and minerals that your body will truly thank you for. 2. Berries. Nature's sweet, nutrient-dense treat. Now let's talk about berries. There's a lot of discussion about fruits and vegetables, and here's my perspective. I believe that berries are the absolute best type of fruit to incorporate into your diet. But with a small caveat, more isn't always better. The fruit our ancestors ate was very different from what we find in grocery stores today. Their fruit was often smaller, more tart, and strictly seasonal. Humans simply didn't have access to the large, sweet, juicy varieties we enjoy 365 days a year now. While modern fruits do offer nutrients, they also come with a significant amount of sugar, which, in large quantities, can be problematic for our long-term health. This is where berries shine. They are generally the lowest in sugar compared to other fruits, the highest in fiber, and absolutely bursting with vitamins. My top recommendations are strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries. They offer that wonderful balance of flavor and nutrition without the excessive sugar load. Enjoy them, but perhaps sparingly, rather than making them a constant, everyday staple. 3. Meat and animal proteins, essential building blocks. Next up are meat and animal proteins. These foods provide a complete spectrum of essential amino acids, which are the building blocks your body needs but can't produce on its own. In fact, animal proteins are one of the few food groups that humans could realistically survive on for extended periods, providing enough sustained fuel and a broad range of nutrients. While I'm not advocating for an exclusively carnivorous diet, though some individuals do thrive on it, incorporating quality animal proteins is incredibly beneficial. This category includes beef, pork, chicken, lamb, and wild game like rabbit, venison, or buffalo. And of course, don't forget the incredible benefits of fish, especially fatty varieties like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These are particularly rich in the beneficial omega-3 fatty acids, which are so vital for brain health, heart health, and reducing inflammation. Here's a crucial point to remember, my friends. You are what your food eats. When you consume an animal, the health benefits you receive are directly linked to what that animal consumed and how it lived. This is why I strongly recommend choosing grass-fed beef whenever possible. Cows are naturally designed to eat grass, not grain. Grain-fed beef might be more tender or fattier due to accelerated growth, but it can throw off the essential omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid balance in the meat. If grass-fed seems too expensive right now, just do your best. Start with what you can afford, and as you develop new habits that might save you money elsewhere, you can gradually work your way up. The same principle applies to fish. Always choose wild-caught. Farm-raised fish are often fed unnatural diets and can be less healthy, just like grain-fed livestock. When we interfere with nature's design, the results are rarely ideal. Prioritizing how your animal protein was raised ensures you're getting the most nutritious and wholesome option available. The power of eggs, fats, nuts, and seeds. Let's continue our exploration into foods that truly power your body. 4. Eggs, nature's nearly perfect package. When it comes to incredibly versatile and nutrient-dense foods, eggs are hard to beat. While there are duck eggs, ostrich eggs, and more, for most of us we're talking about eggs from chickens, and just like with animal proteins, the quality of the egg is directly linked to the health and life of the hen. If a hen lives a natural, healthy life, roaming outdoors, eating bugs, grass, and seeds, it will produce wonderfully nutritious eggs. Conversely, if hens are confined, stressed, fed poor diets with hormones and processed pellets, their eggs will be pale, nutrient-depleted, and potentially even toxic. What we're truly looking for in the United States is the pasture-raised standard. This new designation means the chickens have lived outdoors, with ample space, at least 108 square feet per bird. They forage for their natural diet, and while they might receive some supplemental grains, their primary food source is what they find naturally. When you crack open a pasture-raised egg, you'll notice the yolk is a rich, deep orange, a stark contrast to the pale yellow of eggs from mass-produced unhealthy chickens. Often, the yolk itself will appear larger, even in a medium-sized egg. Now, a quick but important distinction. Make sure you're looking for pasture-raised, not pasteurized. Pasteurized eggs have simply been sterilized, often from those same mass-produced, lower-quality sources. They're heated to extend shelf life, which doesn't enhance their nutritional value. Always aim for pasture-raised for the best quality. 5. Healthy fats and oils, fueling your body right. For far too long, fat has been wrongly demonized. It's a common misconception that eating fat makes you fat. The truth is, the fat stored on our bodies is primarily a result of a hormone called insulin, which is elevated by consuming excessive amounts of sugar, fructose and sucrose, starches, and highly processed foods. If your diet doesn't constantly spike your insulin, then healthy fats are not only perfectly fine, but absolutely essential for good health. The key with fats and oils is to ensure they are in a natural, minimally processed state. Ideally, you get healthy fats directly from the foods themselves, like the fat on grass-fed meat or in wild-caught fish. But it's also perfectly acceptable to use isolated fats and oils, as long as they are minimally processed and haven't been subjected to excessive heat. Excellent choices include organic grass-fed butter, which I personally use a lot of. Also, organic extra virgin olive oil and organic coconut oil are fantastic. You're also starting to see more widely available and affordable MCT oil, medium-chain triglycerides, which can be a great energy source. Don't overlook traditional fats like lard, pork fat, and tallow, beef fat. Again, if they come from healthy, naturally raised animals, they are incredibly wholesome. For example, when I make bone broth from organic, grass-fed animals, I often skim off several pounds of tallow. This is a pure, healthy fat that can be saved and used for cooking. One vital point about these concentrated fats: most pesticides, toxins, and hormones are fat-soluble. This means that if you're consuming conventionally raised fats, you're likely concentrating those undesirable substances in your body. This is precisely why it's worth investing a little extra in organic and clean sources for your fats. It's an investment in truly healthy nourishment. 6. Nuts, nutrient-packed powerhouses. Nuts can be an incredibly healthy addition to your diet, but they should be enjoyed in moderation, rather than forming the cornerstone of your meals, as they do contain some omega-6 fatty acids, which we want to keep in balance. However, as part of a varied diet, they are excellent. When choosing nuts, focus on those that meet 3 key criteria. Taste great raw. Raw nuts retain more of their nutrients. Roasting or excessive processing can diminish their nutritional value and even alter some of their healthy fats. Low in carbohydrates. This ensures you're getting more healthy fats and fewer sugars. High in fat, higher fat content usually means a lower carbohydrate count. Based on these criteria, my top recommendations are macadamia nuts, pecans, walnuts, and almonds. While walnuts and almonds are slightly higher in carbohydrates, their dense nutritional profile means you typically won't eat enough to cause an issue, even on a low-carb or ketogenic diet. Another fantastic aspect of nuts is their high content of fiber and protein. You're essentially getting a wealth of nutrients packed into a small, satisfying package, making them a great snack or addition to meals. 7. Seeds, tiny titans of nutrition. Often grouped with nuts, seeds actually deserve their own special mention because they are quite distinct in their uses and nutritional profiles. My favorite seeds are chia, flax, hemp, and pumpkin seeds. While you might snack on nuts directly, seeds like chia and flax aren't typically something you'd munch on by the handful. They're far better suited for low-heat cooking, mixing into smoothies, or even as a base for a healthy oatmeal alternative. If you enjoy yogurt, grinding some of these seeds and sprinkling them on top is a fantastic nutrient-dense substitute for traditional cereal. One of the most appealing aspects of seeds, especially recently as they've grown in popularity, is how affordable they've become. You can often find large bags at wholesale clubs, making them incredibly cost-effective. Nutritionally, seeds are absolutely packed with healthy fats, fiber, and protein. They contain virtually zero net carbohydrates, even if the total carb count looks high, as most of it is fiber. They typically have a net carb percentage of a mere 3 to 4%. While you don't want to rely exclusively on plant foods for omega-3s, as the conversion to the most usable forms, EPA and DHA, is often inefficient in the body, chia and flax seeds do have the highest levels of omega-3 fatty acids of any plant source. They can provide a good foundation, but remember to still prioritize getting omega-3s from fatty fish for optimal absorption. The all-star avocado, root vegetables, and flavorful herbs. Let's continue our journey with more incredible foods that truly support your well-being. 8. Avocado. The creamy, versatile powerhouse. I've given avocado its own category not because it's a superfood in the way some people might think. I still want to move away from that mindset, but because it's simply so incredibly versatile and beneficial in so many ways. Avocado is wonderfully creamy, tastes fantastic, and is loaded with natural healthy fats. You can enjoy it raw, simply scooped out with a spoon, or incorporate it into countless dishes. From the classic guacamole to adding it to salads, sandwiches, or even cooking with it, its possibilities are endless. It's also incredibly satisfying, often making a meal feel complete on its own. Who can argue with the joy of a perfectly ripe avocado? Recently, I spoke about the concept of a fasting mimicking diet, and avocado would be an ideal food for that approach. It's high in fat, very low in carbohydrates, and low in protein, making it a truly perfect food for maintaining satiety and health without spiking insulin. Think of it not as a magical cure, but as a wonderful, reliable staple that complements almost any healthy eating plan. 9. Tubers and root vegetables. Grounded goodness, with a caveat. Next, we have tubers or root vegetables. These are the starchy treasures that grow underground, serving as energy reserves for the plant. Examples include yams, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, rutabagas, turnips, carrots, and celeriac, celery root. Now here's the important distinction. These vegetables are quite starchy. If you're actively trying to lose weight, are on a very low-carb or ketogenic diet, or if you're dealing with insulin resistance, you'll want to consume these sparingly, if at all. The starch can convert to sugar in your body and affect your blood sugar levels. However, if you're insulin sensitive, have reached your goal weight, or are practicing something like carb cycling, perhaps low carb during the week and adding a few more carbs on weekends, then these can be excellent choices. They provide quality carbohydrates without the inflammatory properties often found in grains. While they are starchy, they can be a great alternative to traditional potatoes for mashed dishes or added to stews and soups for depth of flavor and nutrients. Just remember, moderation is key with these given their starch content. They offer wonderful flavor and nutrients when used thoughtfully within your dietary goals. 10. Herbs and spices, tiny powerhouses of flavor and health. Finally, let's talk about the incredibly potent world of herbs and spices. Things like garlic, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, cilantro, parsley, dill, and rosemary are far more than just flavor enhancers. They are nutritional powerhouses. While they won't provide significant macronutrients like protein, fat, or carbs, they are absolutely loaded with micronutrients, minerals, vitamins, and compounds with remarkable medicinal properties. I don't want you to think of them as medication in a pill form. Rather, consider them as natural boosters that support your body's innate healing abilities. For instance, garlic, ginger, and turmeric are known for their antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral properties. Turmeric is a fantastic anti-inflammatory agent and can aid in gut healing. Cinnamon has even been shown to have beneficial effects on blood sugar regulation. The beauty of herbs and spices is that you can effortlessly incorporate them into your daily cooking, elevating your meals with incredible flavor while simultaneously providing a gentle, consistent dose of health benefits. Don't go overboard and try to use them like drugs. Simply weave them into your healthy diet frequently, and you'll reap their wonderful rewards. A sweet bonus: the truth about chocolate. All right, my wonderful friends, we've talked about so many incredible foods that nourish our bodies from the inside out. But let's be honest, life needs a little sweetness, a little treat now and then, doesn't it? And for many, myself included, that treat often comes in the form of chocolate. Now, before you reach for just any chocolate bar, let's talk about a crucial distinction: the difference between milk chocolate and dark chocolate. When you hear about the health benefits of chocolate, they are almost exclusively referring to dark chocolate. Why? Because the true star here is cocoa. The cocoa bean is a plant, rich in beneficial nutrients that can truly be wonderful for your health. The problem with milk chocolate is the overwhelming amount of added sugar, which unfortunately negates and often outweighs any potential benefits from the cocoa. The darker the chocolate, the less sugar it contains, and the higher the cocoa content. Here's a simple way to gauge it. Look at the percentage of cocoa content. If a bar is 78% cocoa, that means the remaining 22% is mostly sugar. If it's 85% cocoa, then only 15% is sugar. Dark chocolate, especially in the 78% to 85% range, is still somewhat high in total carbohydrates, but most of those carbs are fiber, which you can effectively subtract. I personally enjoy chocolate somewhere between 78% and 85% cocoa. Sometimes 78% feels just right, other times it might seem a touch too sweet, and I'll lean towards 85%. The darker it is, the more satisfying it often becomes, and you'll find you need less to feel content. For example, a single piece of a 78% cocoa bar, like a segment of a standard bar, might contain about 1.5 grams of sugar. If you're aiming for absolutely zero sugar, then chocolate might not be for you. But 1 or 2 pieces won't add a tremendous amount of sugar to your day, especially if you opt for 85% cocoa, which often clocks in at about 1 gram of sugar per piece. Now, some of my patients tell me, Dr. Cole, I just can't get past 50% cocoa, anything darker is too bitter. And I completely understand that initial reaction. But here's a wonderful secret. Your taste buds can change. The more you reduce sweets and added sugar from your diet, the more your palate adapts. Many of our tastes are learned, and as you step away from excessive sugar, you'll start to find foods you once thought were perfectly sweet now taste disgustingly so. As you gradually work your way up to real, whole foods and cut out the sugar, you'll begin to truly appreciate the nuanced flavors of everything, including very dark chocolate. You'll discover that 75%, 78%, 85%, or even 90% cocoa chocolate can be incredibly flavorful, satisfying, and far less bitter than you initially imagined. Of course, if chocolate simply isn't your thing, there's absolutely no need to force it. It's not a fundamental food group. Stick with the other wonderful categories we've discussed, and you'll be well on your way to a robust and healthy life. Your journey to lasting health starts now. My dear friends, I truly hope our conversation today has sparked a new understanding and excitement about nourishing your body. This isn't just about food, it's about reclaiming your energy, vitality, and the joy of truly living. If you found value in what we discussed today, if you feel a renewed sense of purpose for your health, then I invite you to join our growing community of health champions. Simply subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. This way, you won't miss any of our future conversations designed to empower you with the knowledge to truly master your health. And please, I'd love to hear from you. What are your biggest takeaways from today's discussion? What healthy foods are you excited to incorporate more into your meals? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Your experiences and insights are invaluable, and they help us all learn and grow together. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Your health is a precious gift, and I'm honored to be a part of your journey. I look forward to connecting with you again very soon.